Welcome to the session. I'm Emily Sikowski on the Oracle Analytics team, and I'm your moderator for today. This webinar is part of the Oracle at Oracle series, where you'll have the opportunity to hear from the executive team that's reimagining Oracle. In this series, we will share insights about our journey to the cloud and demonstrate how we're using Oracle solutions ourselves to power our business and enable exceptional experiences for our employees and customers. And then we share what we've learned so that you and others can do the same. So let's go ahead and dive right into today's topic. Over the next 45 minutes or so, we'll hear how Oracle enables analytics using Oracle Analytics Cloud and Oracle Autonomous Database. Now, I'll hand it over to your hosts, Benjamin Arnulf and Francis D. Philippis, to introduce themselves. Ben, take it away.
Thank you, Emily. Hi, everyone. My name is Benjamin Arnulf. I'm Senior Director of Product Strategy for Oracle Analytics, and I'm taking care of all the customers at Oracle. Francis?
Thanks, Ben. My name is Francis D. Philippis. I've been with Oracle for 9 years, working within the North America Sales Operations Organization. Over the last 3 years, I've had the incredible opportunity to help shape and build our Oracle Analytics environment, providing rapid insight to our executive leadership team. To say the least, I'm very excited to share with you my experience using Oracle Analytics Cloud and how it is transforming our business. Ben, I'll pass it back to you to take us through the Oracle Analytics product strategy.
Thank you, Francis. So today I'm going to guide you for the product strategy around Oracle Analytics. First, I wanted to let you know that Oracle Analytics is part of all our Oracle AI, data, analytic, and cloud services. You can see on this slide that we are on the blue stack. We have Fusion Analytics, S-Base, data science, machine learning, and AI. But also most of our customers are using database, autonomous data warehouse. They are using also a SaaS application with ERP, HCM, SCM, CX, and more. They are also using OCI, our next generation of infrastructure. And finally, they are also using analytics with low-code Apex app and also digital assistant. So we have services to offer you all solutions, not only analytics, and you can use that on all our different regions at Oracle. We have also 3 products, analytic products. We have our flagship Oracle Analytics Cloud, which is our top product in the cloud. We have also Oracle Analytics Server, which is the same product as Oracle Analytics Cloud, but on premises. And then we have Oracle Fusion Analytics Warehouse, our new managed augmented analytics solution. I'm going to do a quick deep dive on each product. So first, Oracle Analytics Cloud. It's really our top augmented analytics cloud platform. It's not only a data visualization platform. You can use it with data preparation, data enrichment, data flow, machine learning, AI, and more. It's offering you automated insight. It's offering you one-click forecast, one-click data discovery. You can use also NLP, natural language processing, NLG, natural language generation, and also use a mobile app to look at all your data. More than that, it's self-securing, self-patching, self-upgrading. So you don't have to have an army of IT people to take care of this environment. Oracle is managing it for you. We have also Oracle Analytics Server. A lot of government organizations and financial institutions want to manage their server in their data center. We are offering Oracle Analytics Server. You can install it in your data center on premises. It's free to upgrade. You can upgrade at no cost if you have an OBIE with active support agreement. So it's really available on Windows, on Linux, and you have a yearly refresh for it. Finally, we have also Oracle Fusion Analytics Warehouse. A lot of customers told us they have Fusion ERP, HCM, CX, SCM, or NetSuite. They don't want to recreate the wheel. They don't want to load the data in a cloud. They don't want to create the data model. They don't want to manage the security and do everything. What we did, it's really to create one pipeline. Oracle is managing the load for you overnight. Then Oracle is really standing up an Oracle autonomous data warehouse for you, creating all the data model, creating an instance of Oracle Analytics Cloud, loading all the dashboard, all the KPI in the KPI catalog, and all the drill down. You don't need IT, you don't need business analyst, you don't need data scientist. Oracle is managing that for you. At the end of the day, when you launch Oracle Fusion Analytics Warehouse, you have one standardized screen with different KPIs. Your CFO, your CEO can add any KPIs around headcount, revenue, EBITDA, or more, and they can track all the KPI against a target. So it's a revolution. You can have that deliver in a matter of weeks instead of years, and you can really look at one dashboard to see and drive all your business. So Oracle Fusion Analytics Warehouse, it's our next generation of analytics. We have also Oracle Mobile Analytics. This application, it's called Day by Day. We will have a new mobile application to complement that one, but Oracle Day by Day is used by many customers. You can literally open the app, see different KPIs, see different visualization. You don't have to create anything. Oracle is creating the data visualization for you. Then you can literally ask questions about your data. You can say to Oracle, Oracle, show me my revenue by product type and, for example, per month. Automatically, Oracle is going to query your data sources and create data visualization on the fly for you. So you can have an answer and take real-time decision. We have also a new analytic platform, Oracle Analytics. Again, it's not just a data visualization tool like Tableau or Power BI. We are offering governed analytics with dashboard, pixel perfect report, semantic model, query federation. It's really what we call robust business intelligence. We are also offering data preparation, data visualization, collaboration, storytelling, what-if analysis with S-base and machine learning. This is what we call self-service analytics. And then we are offering you the next generation of analytics that we call augmented analytics. You can ask questions with your voice, with chatbot. You have also natural language generation, natural language processing, machine learning. You can use also one click to forecast, one click to cluster data. You don't have to spend time to build dashboard. Everything is automated for you. Oracle is offering all these different analytic features into different cloud. So public, government cloud, cloud at customer, but also on-prem and on third-party cloud. We have also new data visualization. Here you can see that you have different ways to show the data. On the top left, you can see a map with a heat map, and you can visualize different flights going through America. Below, you can see a CAT scan for a specific person and different KPI. Below, you can see also FCCS, which is a real-time connection to Oracle Analytics Cloud and financials used to report to Wall Street. And then you can see different data visualization that you can create, not only KPI dashboard, but really using map, rich feature, satellite view, and more than that. I wanted also to thank you all our Oracle Analytics leaders. We have an entire community of leaders from Delta Airlines, Kaiser Permanente, United Airlines. We have Riverbed, we have Dropbox, HSBC, Nationwide Insurance, and more. All these different leaders are part of our community. They are talking to each other, they are sharing their use case, and every day we are communicating with them to understand how they can be successful with analytics. Some of them are using Oracle Analytics Cloud with 200,000 users. Some of them are using it across different regions in the world, and they are all highly successful. You will see more use case, more webinar with them on internet this year. Recently, Schneider Electric did one webinar to explain how they are successful with autonomous data warehouse and with Oracle Analytics Cloud. This week or next week, we will have also Andre from HSBC sharing you what he's doing with Analytics and Fusion ERP. So again, thanks to all these leaders for trusting us and for using Oracle Analytics to revolution analytics. One of the top innovators, it's really King Gold. They innovate in Asia for all the real estate with analytics. They use machine learning, multiple cloud. They were able to reduce all the complex reporting from 12 minutes to 41 seconds. They were also able to change and streamline all their projects from 3 to 6 months to a matter of weeks. Stephen Cheng is one of the top innovators in the industry. He's using Oracle Analytics Cloud, OCI, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Next Generation, and obviously also Oracle Analytics Cloud. You can see Stephen Cheng in multiple webinars. He is one of our stars in Asia. We have also Western Digital with Mark, and we have also different people like Bill Roy in Western Digital using Oracle Analytics to quickly access data and reporting. They have been one of our top customers in the industry. They are able to implement faster dashboard and reporting for their executive. They are using Oracle Analytics with Exadata. They are using it to show data to their executive. And Western Digital is one of the top companies in the world to innovate with analytics. We have also NHS, the National Healthcare Services in UK. We have Andrew from NHS. We have different people using analytics to detect fraud. So NHS is really using Oracle Analytics Cloud with machine learning embedded to detect fraud into the different healthcare services. And they were able to save $1 billion using Oracle Analytics and machine learning. So really, they are the top innovator in EMEA, with also HSBC, with Aon, with Orange and other customers. And they are able to innovate every year to deliver better savings, but also to deliver better services during the COVID-19 crisis. So again, thank you to NHS for all the work you have been doing in analytics and data exploration. It's not only helping everyone, it's also helping all the patients. Then one of the top customers also using it internally, it's Oracle itself. Oracle and also Francis, which is here today, is going to show you how they use Oracle Analytics on top of sales to do their Oracle Analytics transformation. They were able to reduce 90% of reporting errors. And it's very important when you have different audits with EY, KPMG, and others. You don't want to have errors when you are showing some sales consolidation. Francis is going to show you how he performed, how he did this sales analytics transformation. And I'm going just before to show you a quick demonstration of Oracle Analytics. So I'm going to move to the next screen. Oops. And I'm going to go and reconnect to my instance. I'm going to share my screen in a second. Here. Oops. Perfect. I'm going to show my screen really quick here. I'm going to relog to my instance of Oracle Analytics Cloud. It's going to take a second. And then the first thing that you can see is the home screen of Oracle Analytics Cloud. So you can see on the home screen that you have different data sets. You have also Dataflows, and you have different dashboards that we already created. You can click on a specific dashboard to open this dashboard and understand what the analysis is about. You can see on this dashboard that we are looking at the San Francisco airport. For the San Francisco airport, we are looking at all the different gates where different flights are arriving. We have also a 3-dimensional view of the airport and a grid heat map to understand what are the top airlines for the gate. At any time, I can click on a specific gate. It's going to rearrange the different heat map and tell me that, for example, JetBlue, they had 870 flights for the gate A12. So that it's like a pixel perfect dashboard that we created. But if you want to start directly with Oracle Analytics Cloud, you can literally create a new visualization by using a new data set. For instance, here, I'm going to upload an Excel file. I'm going to select the test data. I'm going to load this Excel file to OCI, our cloud infrastructure next generation. And I'm going, for example, to put Oracle at Oracle #1. I'm going to add this specific data set into the cloud, and Oracle is loading directly this data set for me. Then I'm going to create a self-service visualization on top of this project. I'm going to open the self-service edition. If I don't know what to do with this data set, I can literally right-click on cells and ask Oracle Analytics to explain me the cells. I don't have to run correlation. I don't have to run machine learning. Oracle is running some algorithm in the background to calculate the correlation for me. I can literally go and select the cells by customer segment, for example. I can select also the cells by product category if I want to understand a little bit more. And finally, I saw country, so I'm going to select the cells by country. I can add the cells and the different visualization to my dashboard. And then I can rearrange the different data visualization to show, for example, the country at the top. In literally 1 minute, I have a dashboard created. I can also rearrange my dashboard and select different data visualization to see the data another way. For example, here I want to focus on the US. I can right-click on the US, drill down to the city attribute to see this specific visualization by city. In a matter of seconds, I can see all the city in the US. I can drag and drop, for example, the profit to see the size of the bubble for profit. And then I can ask to see the map by product category. Now I have a full dashboard showing me the product category technology and showing me that, for example, for San Francisco, we have 58K of sales for 11K of profit. If I'm a business analyst, I can do even more than that. I can create a new page and I can say, I want to see a new calculation. I want to see, for example, the profit ratio, which is the profit divided by the sales multiplied by 100. Oops. And I'm going, for example, to save this new calculation in Oracle Analytics Cloud. And I want to understand what is the city that has the top profit, sales, and profit ratio. I'm selecting these 3 measures. I can literally just drag and drop. Automatically, Oracle Analytics is selecting the best data visualization for me. From here, I can add any type of statistic and machine learning. For example, I can add a trend line. And I can add, for example, clustering to understand what are the different groups of cities. I don't have to run machine learning. Oracle Analytics is doing that for me directly on the fly. I can also ask to see what is the profit in terms of size of a bubble. If you don't know how, for example, to explain this specific graph to your VP or to your CFO, you can just copy and paste this specific data visualization. You can remove, for example, the clustering, and you can ask Oracle Analytics to explain for you this data visualization without the creepy French accent. And automatically, you are going to see Hong Kong is the most important with sales of 300K, and it might be that one. Then we have Albany, Jamestown, and San Diego are the 3 largest in terms of profit ratio. It might be that one, and that one. And then if we look here, the last city, Capton, makes up the rest of the list with a profit ratio which is negative. So we can see that this is the blue group, and here we must have, for example, different one here. So this is really a quick introduction to Oracle Analytics. I'm going to go back to the main presentation, and Francis is going to show you the sales analytics transformation at Oracle. Francis, you can go.
Thanks so much, Ben. All right, our team, like many in a line of business, is very small. with only one technical resource and 20 super user analysts. Our charter and audience is simple. We focus on insight around our sales organizational data to help advise the executive leadership team. Having a tool like Oracle Analytics Cloud has allowed us to support our data science and analytics community in a whole new way. Having all our pipeline and customer utilization data in one place is truly transforming how we can run our business. Our greatest challenges are just like yours. Before implementing Oracle Analytics Cloud, we had some real challenges delivering on our charter to provide rapid insight to the leadership team. We struggled with too many decentralized spreadsheets, siloing our data in a way that we could not leverage it in an efficient manner. In addition to this issue, we faced many human errors caused by repetitive tasks. This led to our executive leadership team questioning the accuracy, no matter how small the issue. With all the spreadsheets and siloed data, we had no centralized data repository or really no source of truth. Furthermore, we just could not scale requests using Excel alone. For example, just to provide 4 complex reports in Excel, we needed 2 full-time employees, making it virtually impossible to have time for insight on our data. And lastly, our largest issue really came down to resourcing. I'm sure for all of you, this is a large issue because we all face a world where we are asked to do more with less. The real issue, though, comes down to the fact that with this landscape of decentralized data and lack of resources, I was not able to meet our original charter to provide proactive insight to the leadership team. I'd like to highlight these challenges by sharing some stats from an IDC study in 2019 that showed analysts spent 81% of their time managing data and only 19% on analyzing and providing insight. To succeed in a data-driven world, you need tools that remove the challenges I just discussed, flipping this pie chart so you have more time for insight. As we set out to overcome these challenges, we set the goal to have a centralized view for analytics, data sharing, and insight strategic planning. It was very important to create a centralized single source of truth that our users could take advantage of. The time saving in just creating that central truth is astounding for a small team like mine. I'd like to now discuss with you how Oracle Analytics helped us solve this problem. So how do we overcome these challenges? I'm sure, like my team, you need a full package solution. As Ben mentioned, Oracle Analytics Cloud provides a full suite from data manipulation, visualization, even no-code machine learning. With Oracle Analytics, you can source from many systems, integrate through Oracle Cloud services, and structure your data with the power of a no-maintenance solution like Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse, and analyze and distribute with Oracle Analytics. For my team, the scalability of the solution far surpasses what is possible if I was not to only add additional resources to my team. This suite of tools allows us to increase productivity at an astounding rate. Reviewing what Oracle had to offer as a data analysis team, here's how we decided to architect a solution to our challenges. Remember, everything we decide to do is constrained by the resources we have available. In my team, we only have one technical resource. We need a very agile solution that required as little as possible IT backend support. We selected the autonomous database because it requires no maintenance and just works. This by itself is pretty amazing, but the real power comes when you pair ADB with Oracle Analytics. Remember, our goal is to flip the pie on managing versus analyzing problem posed in the IDC study. With ATP, we ingest all our different spreadsheets and source data into the database so that we can stage and transform the data to pass it to ADW to take advantage of the highly scalable and rapid aggregation of data. Since this database never goes down, we now spend no time on database maintenance and can focus our time on building more complex data sets around our business. I really want to hammer home the power of these two together, how it's been freeing up my team to actually perform our charter to provide insight. Let's dig into why OAC is best positioned to solve my challenge paired with autonomous data warehouse. I needed a tool that had a full stack, as I mentioned, which OAC has enterprise-grade dashboards with pixel-perfect reporting, as Ben mentioned. It has self-service analytics, making visualization super easy, as you saw, and data discovery, something that any analyst can learn if they know how to drag and drop. Dataflows allow any user without any code to manipulate data and run it on a schedule without errors. This is a key element in reducing our number of errors. The problem of human error with spreadsheets is eliminated with these data flows and data preparation scripts. This data flow allows the normal user to increase productivity by an order of magnitude through scheduling repeatable tasks in the system. Explain allows you to explore brand new data sets, providing standard machine learning views, accelerating your time to insight, as you saw from Ben's demo. And lastly, without any code, we can now take advantage of machine learning. Forecasting, which means without data scientists on the team, we have introduced machine learning to our tool set. As you can see, OAC provides a full suite of tools, allowing me to overcome our challenges in a whole new way and also add capabilities that I could not have imagined in my old world of spreadsheets and database tables. Let's dig into each of these and talk about some examples transforming our LOB. Dashboards are the perfect tool for delivering standard scheduled reports that require pixel-perfect reporting and enterprise-grade security. We recently were able to fully automate an Excel report distributed to our executive leadership team, reducing errors and the time to delivery. In my opinion, just fixing errors and time to delivery is not enough. What we really needed was a single location secured by user that is online and can be leveraged from anywhere. We also really needed to free up the analyst time, start looking at those reports and advising the executive leadership team on what they found. Dashboarding is not going anywhere in our data-rich world. Oracle Analytics standardized reporting platform is best in class and is an integral part of our data distribution strategy. Okay, let's move on to one of my favorite topics around data visualization, or the self-service analytics part of OAC. This portion of the tool is truly transforming how we gain insight from our data. The speed at which we can change chart types, explore questions, swap out fields, and truly build a story around our data in presentation format is astounding. Working with data in this drag and drop format has allowed us to ask questions that never would have been possible via Excel. For example, if you've ever changed chart types in Excel, you stop at about 3. But with drag and drop, I find myself exploring for hours, coming up with the perfect visualization to answer our leadership's questions. With a tool like this out of the box, you just do better work because it is easier. Another benefit that we're experiencing from self-service analytics is the full automation of PowerPoint presentations. Many organizations like ours struggle from the copy and paste of charts and tables to PowerPoint. For any that have done this, you know it is not fun and requires a lot of time and is very error prone. We are currently in the process of eliminating these steps, manually creating charts and tables in PowerPoint and letting OAC handle the refresh and formatting so that we can spend the time on providing insight on the data and actions that we need to take. As we continue to the data flows, you'll see how each of these features in concert with the other really makes OAC a game changer for a small analytics team like mine. If you're a data analyst like myself, you know that most of your time is spent on manipulating and aggregating data so that it can be consumed by your user base. Many of these tasks are very repetitive, which again, are error prone, but also limited by my bandwidth and knowledge of, say, SQL. Remember, this was my second challenge. Spreadsheets are not scalable at manipulating data. Oracle Analytics introduced a closed loop, no code solution to this problem called Dataflows. These data flows are drag and drop and can be learned in a matter of hours. And the icing on top is the fact that they can be scheduled, removing the bandwidth problem. In addition, the data sets can be consumed inside a dashboard or self-service analytics projects. We're using hundreds of these data flows across our environment, saving us countless hours, which are essentially adding additional resources to our team, all within the same platform. Let's move on and build upon this theme of adding resources to our team. Explain is a data exploration feature, as you saw with an Oracle Analytics, that allows anyone to take advantage of data science, like Insight, within seconds of loading a totally new data set. I use this feature when I have a data set I've never worked with before. Having a tool like this directs my time on the data set and speeds up my familiarity with the data. The equivalent of this tool would have been building a chart for every column in a data set, which I simply would not have done before. This type of functionality is a game changer in speed to insight and understanding of new data sets. If it's not enough to have dashboarding, visualization, and data flows all in one platform, it's hard to believe for me that as a small 20-person team, we also get a no-code machine learning module in Oracle Analytics. I don't have to have a degree in data science or any of the most common machine learning programming languages like Python or R, but in a matter of weeks with some reading online about machine learning, I was able to build a model to help predict what sales deals would be won or lost and where that negative and positive correlation factors, what correlated to that outcome. Remember, we started with spreadsheets being the issue, and now we are tuning a machine learning data model. It truly has been transformative from where we started. I think you can see how the power of a tool like Oracle Analytics has truly transformed the way we work with our data and provide insight to our executive sales leadership team. But I want to share with you some of the benefits we've experienced here at Oracle. As Ben mentioned, we've seen 90% reduction in reporting errors due to our continued commitment to leverage the entire platform using data models, data flows, and to automate those manual manipulations of our data. We have freed up resources to provide insight on our business data. For example, we had 2 full-time employees just creating PowerPoints. Now can do that in just 5 hours a week. This is just the beginning of automation as we continue to build more in OAC. We now have a single source of truth in OAC in our autonomous database that any user with access can leverage. And lastly, but not least, we have gained agility as a team. Remember, ADB requires no maintenance, freeing up our technical resource to build complex data sets that can be used to gain additional insight into our business. Oracle Analytics paired with ADB is truly a platform for analyzing our business data. The power comes in the concert of different tools all baked into one. Having it all in one place is changing the way we run our business. With that, I would like to thank you for joining us today for this presentation. I'd like to pass it over to Emily to open it up for any questions that you may have.
Francis, thank you so much, and Ben as well. Really great information and great experience to see there. And now we will move into the questions, and of course there have been quite a few. So we'll start with one that's coming up multiply, which is about machine learning. And what I'll do, Ben, I'll ask you this question first, and then Francis, if you'd like to comment, that would be helpful. So we've had a couple of people ask about using Python for data manipulation. And so there's one question of, do you have to use Python with Oracle Analytics, can you use Python? So Ben, I thought you could comment on that. And then Francis, also maybe if you have anything to add there.
Sure, thank you, Emily. So yes, I will say you have different ways in Oracle Analytics Cloud to use machine learning and automated insight. The first way, you do not have to be a data scientist or a business analyst. You can literally just go into a data visualization project and ask, for example, to cluster the data, or ask a trend line, or ask, I will say, a forecast on a date to predict the future, for example. just by one click. So we automated machine learning for the end users. So any accountant, any payable analyst can use machine learning in Oracle Analytics without knowing Python or R. Then in Oracle Analytics, you have also a module called Dataflow. Dataflow is allowing you to basically select multiple data sources. You can select an Oracle database, Fusion ERP, and over. You can merge the data, join the data. And then in Dataflow, you can say, I want to predict what will be my sales or what will be my attrition for the next 5 years. And here you can select different machine learning model to train. Visually, it's drag and drop. You have 10 or 15 different parameters that you can input in. And automatically, Oracle Analytics is going to generate the Python behind that, generate the machine learning model, train it, and at the end, give you the result. And also the machine learning model with a percentage of confidence. So that is the second way. Now, if you are really an hardcore data scientist and you want to use R or you want to use Python, you can also do that directly in Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse. You build your data model, you build your machine learning model, you use R or Python for that. And then inside Oracle Analytics Cloud, you can deliver your machine learning model to your users and they can reuse it to predict the future. So you have different ways to use Oracle machine learning inside Oracle Analytics, being a normal user, a business analyst, or a data scientist level 3 or level 4.
Thank you, Ben. And then Francis, I didn't know if you had any additional comments or anything, some practical experience you might want to share. And if you don't, we can move on to the next question.
I mean, the thing that we've been finding very powerful is to use, I think you kind of mentioned this, Ben, but using the Oracle machine learning, that is a tool that comes just out of the box with your autonomous database. And that's where you can promote actual models up to Oracle Analytics Cloud. So that's really, really powerful. One of the things that we're finding is for machine learning, speed to testing the model and ensuring its accuracy is so important. You can do that with GPUs, but what Oracle's been doing is taking that Python and a lot of these packages and writing them directly into the database. So we can use the Oracle database kernel, and the speed at which it runs when it's written into the kernel is it's just unbelievable. I mean, you can get models so much faster than you can just running it, say, in a Jupyter notebook.
Excellent, thank you. Speaking of some of the questions that are associated, with this have to do with what kind of data sources you can use. So Francis, I don't know if you want to comment. I mean, I know we've covered some Oracle data sources, but I think frequently people aren't aware of how broad the solution range is. Do you have any non-Oracle data sources that you're using at present, or no, just Oracle?
Being at Oracle, we focus on a lot of Oracle databases, so that's our main connection that we use. But I know, Ben, you could speak to Hive, we have Postgres, we have Redshift. I mean, it's a very large set of connections. I know Ben didn't get time to go through that, but if you just click that create button, you click data set, you can do it directly through a connection. And any service, I mean, from Dropbox, I think it's Google Drive, OneDrive, pretty much anywhere. But I'm mainly focused on connections to the Oracle database and spreadsheets at the moment.
Yeah, and I will add on that, Emily, that basically all our customers are using Oracle data sources or multiple other data sources, and they connect to Snowflakes, Amazon EMR, Amazon Redshift, Dropbox, Google Analytics, MongoDB, PostgreSQL, as Francis said, Excel file. They use also, for example, Amazon Redshift. They use any type of data, including Spark also, so non-structured data, Hadoop, and others. And we are going to add this year a direct connection to Google BigQuery and also Microsoft Azure Synapse. So again, it's not only an Oracle analytic tool, you can connect to any data sources. And we have also now going to have a JDBC driver allowing you to connect any data sources in the world directly.
And that just really only adds to the power. I mean, I was talking about transforming. When you have all these things together, when you add more and more and more connections, you're not limited by where the data is to analyze it. You can move to these tools immediately. Once you have that connection to the data set, you start analyzing. You start using Explain. You start using Dataflows and machine learning right out of the box. It's fast.
That's always great to hear, because people are usually dealing with lots and lots of data.
Yep.
There are a number of questions that have just come in, one on top of the other, talking about SaaS data and ERP. And I think, Ben, I would ask you to comment on the ability to leverage that data in OAC, but possibly also to talk about Fusion Analytics Warehouse a little bit and what that means as part of the solution suite, if you'd be so kind.
Yeah, sure. So basically, you can connect to any SaaS application, specifically Fusion ERP, Fusion HCM, Fusion SCM, Fusion CX, but also NetSuite. All our customers are using the top leader ERP, for example, Fusion ERP, #1 in the world, and you can directly use Oracle Analytics Cloud on top of that. Now you can connect in real time to it. You can also load the data directly to an autonomous data warehouse. Most of big corporations are doing that. HSBC, Cisco, I will say, Riverbed, Hertz, and others. They load the data directly to autonomous data warehouse. Why? Because it's self-tuning, self-securing, self-patching. If you load data into a data warehouse, for example, in Amazon or in another service, you are responsible for the security. If you use autonomous data warehouse, Oracle is going to manage the security for you. So you will be sure that it's secure and all your data is secure. Now, also why customers are so heavily using autonomous data warehouse. It's because we have some dashboard where you have, for example, one table with 100 million records. They load that directly in autonomous data warehouse. You have, for example, more than 100 columns. If you try to build a dashboard using, for example, Tableau on top of that, it's going to be slow. In Oracle Analytics Cloud, when you connect to this type of large table using autonomous data warehouse, you can run 5 queries in a matter of seconds, and you can filter 100 million records in a fingertip like that. So it's really, really fast. And it's why most of our top analytic leaders are using autonomous data warehouse.
I see a question in here, Emily, about text analysis, and it builds upon what Ben's saying with the Oracle Autonomous Warehouse. If you're using that in Dataflows, you get text tokenization. You can start to take advantage of the advanced features of the Oracle database directly up in Oracle Analytics Cloud. So like unpivoting data, text tokenization, and then also directly in those data flows, you can do sentiment analysis without even leaving. It's just drag and drop. Any person that can drag and drop can do sentiment analysis on those text fields. So just using that gives you that additional power.
Absolutely. Thank you, Francis, for covering that. There's a lot, and we're releasing more every time we update the software, which is on a regular basis. So there's a question which came in about, in terms of data integration and preparation, there are a number of, platforms and tools people use. And the question a little bit is, are Dataflow and Autonomous Data Warehouse a replacement for that? Are they complementary? What would your guidance be? And Francis, if you want to comment on that, and then Ben, add anything, that'd be great.
So our experience with Dataflows is, I wouldn't say they're at a place. Well, they're not necessarily built to replace your ETL process. These are incredibly powerful once your data is available at manipulating the data or writing machine learning projects on top of it. So it's not intended to be a replacement of your ETL. You still need to use something like Oracle Data Integrator or another integration platform to manipulate the data and get it into your data warehouse. Then you can add.
Yeah, I think, Francis, you are totally correct. It's not meant to replace your main ETL. Dataflow, look at it about something similar to a mini ETL. So we saw that in the past, a lot of users ask their IT, for example, to just load an Excel file to a table. And that was something taking a lot of time for IT to handle all these requests. So what we decided to do is to do like a kind of mini ETL, allowing most of the users to do in a control environment different data transformation. So again, you are not going to replace Informatica or to replace different tools or ODI, Oracle Data Integrator, but all the little tasks that are taking some time, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, or all the different data transformation now can be handled directly for the by the accountant or account payable analyst. We have a lot of companies also that were using Alteryx, like for example, MetLife and others, that are now using directly Oracle Analytics Dataflow because it's free, it's available inside Oracle Analytics Cloud, and it's performing very, very well. So in a sense, I will say, no, it's not going to totally replace your entire ETL, but maybe it's going to replace 30% of what you do with an ETL, or at least 50% of the requests from all your end users.
Excellent. Going back up on the list a little bit, there's one, again, tying to sort of data sources across SaaS. So the question is, can reports be created across multiple subject areas to bring in data from multiple cloud applications, such as ERP, financials, SCM, and OTM, GTM? So Ben, I don't know if you want to comment on that.
Yes, totally. You can use different subject area inside the same project. So you could have a data visualization showing you expenses from AP subject area. Then you could have a different data visualization showing you the PO. You could have also another page showing you the PO requisition, and you could have an action link to drill down from the PO to the PO requisition page. You can also, I will say, link different subject area. And this year, we will have 2 new features that are going to be released. We are going to have a multiple table dataset, allowing you to do any type of join, inner join, outer join. And also coming in the next, I will say 6 months or years, we will have the data modeler, which is the RPD, which was basically before on-premises, which is going to be inside the cloud, inside Oracle Analytics Cloud, and you will be able to do all your subject area manipulation, join them, do different things, work with hierarchies. So stay tuned, we will have way more to come this year.
I see a question here from Anil about, do you have a client tool? I think that would be an interesting thing to talk about, Ben. From my perspective on the Oracle Cloud, everything's done from the web. There is a desktop version that you can drag and drop and do a lot of the visualization, but you can't publish from that to the cloud. So everything is just an interaction via the browser.
And I think, Ben, it might be worth commenting as well, perhaps, or it's because there's no sort of different client tool to access OAC. It's not like a separation between engine and front end, right? So Ben, maybe you can give a little bit more comment there. And thank you, Francis, for calling that out.
Yeah, correct. So Oracle Analytics Cloud, everything is included into the same interface. So you have data flow, data preparation. You have in the future the data modeler, which is going to be included directly. You have any type machine learning module. Everything is under the same interface. So you don't have to buy different module. You don't have to access different URL. We have also Spatial Studio, which is allowing you to do any type of spatial visualization. We have also integration with Autonomous Data Warehouse, where you can use different functions directly inside Oracle Analytics. So yes, in terms of interface, in terms of module, everything is available into the same interface.
Great. There are a couple of questions that came up that I want to make sure we get to. One of them was, are there volume processing limitations for data flows or the data science components? And so I don't know if we can comment on that or maybe point to some of those resources.
So we have some limitation, I will say, for data flow, because we don't want people to process, I will say, 100 million of lines at the same time. So depending on the number of OCPU you have in your environment, you have different type of, I would say, of limitation. Now, I would say most of the users in Dataflow are using Dataflow with 1 million of lines of transformation. I would say that is the most common use case. But if you need more, obviously you can with different type of CPU, and we can follow up with a URL on that by email, for example.
Great, thank you. And there's another question also about JDBC options and whether there's the ability to edit and define what's in the native driver properties. That may be more detailed than we can cover here, but I'm not sure, Ben, if you have any information on that.
So for JDBC connectivity, JDBC is going to allow you to use different, I would say, data source. And for JDBC, you will have different way in terms of selecting the driver, if you want to have native connection or not. I will say that will be better if we have a follow-up email. I can send all the documentation instead of going into a technical deep dive session on JDBC driver.
Thank you. I know we had a question also about using Oracle Analytics with, ragged hierarchies, sort of, an S-based question. So I think we wanted to take a moment to answer that. And then I know we've got a question about tools to help migrate from other platforms. So these are great questions. We still have a few more minutes, so let's keep going.
Perfect. So for the RAG hierarchies, so most of the time it's part of Hyperion Planning, EPBCS, FCCS. It's part also of different EPM tool. So one thing to know, one, right now you can connect in real time to any EPM tool like EPBCS, PBCS, FCCS, tax reporting. So you have now a real-time connector for this tool. As of now, you cannot really use this different real-time connection to drill down natively into an hierarchy, into a RAG hierarchy. We flatten the hierarchy for you. But on our roadmap in the first half of this year, and it's under Safe Harbor, you will see that we are going to support the hierarchies directly in Oracle Analytics Cloud. So if you are using Essbase, if you are using EPM, RAG hierarchy or not, you will be able to use them directly and drill down natively. You will have a little sign in the pivot table where you can drill down directly, similar to Smart View, for example. The second thing to know, when we will have a data modeler, which is going to be online, also inside Oracle Analytics Cloud, you will be able to edit directly skip hierarchy, RAG hierarchy, any type of hierarchy. You will be able to build them, edit the different level, what we call commonly the parent and the child. So that will be directly inside Oracle Analytics Cloud. So if you are an Essbase user, if you are an EPM customer, this year is going to be a revolution for you with Oracle Analytics Cloud. And Francis, if you have anything to add, feel free to add.
No, nothing else to add. Thank you.
And thank you, Ben. And that's Francis. We've got a couple questions coming your way. So one of them is, it would be interesting. People are asking about security and how you're controlling data. And of course, the data that you're working on is, it's quite important to have, really tight security. So can you comment perhaps on, if you've implemented user level control or how you're controlling data for region, and talk a little bit about that. And then the other question for you is, what were you doing before you started on this path? So those would be good to have answered.
So the first on the implementing user level security, this is where those data models come in. So we actually use in Oracle Analytics Cloud, there's a lighter version in the RPD. We use the thin client modeler, it's called, and it's up in the cloud. Inside of these data models, you can actually apply column-specific filters, and you can connect it to roles, a lot of different things. So there's a ton of creative ways to secure your specific data, both by where you put it. It's called the catalog, the folder structure. So you can secure that by role and user. And then the data itself in those data models can be filtered at the data model level. And then before this, we were actually using, so our transformation over time has been, we started in spreadsheets and databases, and just trying to get all the data in a single location. That was helpful, but the problem we had was a lack of speed. It was I mean, we just had to do so much brute force manual labor to produce things using Excel or PowerPoints or whatever it was. So just lots of copy paste, incredibly difficult to run. It's possible with a number of people, right? The right people, the right resourcing, possible to do. Error prone, as I mentioned. And then we actually moved to Oracle's BI cloud service. So getting into this structure of the Oracle Analytics platform. So let's just say you're not ready to move to Oracle Cloud, but you're really interested in the features. You can take advantage of the Oracle Analytics server and install it yourself. That way you get into this structure. And then what we did, migrating over from BI cloud service to Oracle Analytics Cloud, that's once we had this feature set that's available in the cloud, was really when that transformation began in terms of speeding up insight. So that took us about 3 months to the migration over from the BI cloud service.
Great. Well, this has been, again, a terrific presentation and really interesting and engaging Q&A session. So thank you both for doing that. And this is all we have time for. I think we could probably keep going, but we've got, everyone's got some other things to do as well. So what we'll do is wrap up. But of course, we always want feedback. So thank you to everyone who's attended. We'd like to get your perspective on the session. So please give us your comments because so we can improve, always going forward. Take a moment here and just answer this poll if you would.
I see some thank you inside the chat. So Sandar and everyone else, thank you so much for attending today. It was really good to have you.
Yes,
yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you both. We hope to everyone who attended that you heard something today that will help you move forward. If you have additional questions that we didn't get to, we will get to those afterwards. We'll be following up in the next 48 hours with a link to the replay and a PDF of the presentation. And there should be a link, I think on the next slide, actually, there's a link to an email address. And this is some resources you've got. There should be a link to an email address where you can go ahead, there you go, and send additional questions. And of course, this will come out back to the email where you registered. So with that, thank you all for joining. We hope you join others webcasts in the Oracle at Oracle series, and have a great rest of your day, everyone. Thank you so much.